Because if you're doing something a little bit different or making something a little bit better or a bit cheaper or whatever,
Yeah.
then you're probably going to do better. Yeah, that kind of thing. There we go, video done.
Sweet, sweet.
We've nailed it.
Welcome to the first Dedication Blog business video. Now, just off the bat, this is obviously our opinions, our experiences, what we've learned. So we want to share them with you. We're not saying this is how it's done. This is what it's all about.
No, we don't want to kind of be like people taking it as if we're saying this is fact. This is how you have to do things. This is the right way of doing things. This is just purely our opinions. So
what we've seen and what we've experienced. So if
if
it helps you out, then yeah, take it. If not, then
leave a nasty comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, for this first one, we're just going to talk about niche markets, which we mentioned in the previous video, in the Q&A, I think it was, just about how we think you can stand out better and do better sort of from the off in a niche market. And we'll explain exactly what we mean by niche market in a sec.
Or niche.
Or niche, if you don't know how to talk yet.
Yeah,
niche market.
No, definitely no T in it, last time I checked.
It's definitely niche. So yeah, how we think that's better than just going for a general consumer market. And by that I mean just like something that anyone could buy, that's just aimed at the general public. Because I think a lot of people, when they're thinking they want to start a business, they're thinking, what could I do to improve my daily life or whatever, or to improve, just anyone, something that anyone would want. Which I think, and again it's just our opinions, we kind of think that's not really the right way to do it. Not the right way, but just it's not going to be the best way to start, because there's so many companies out there, so many huge companies and so many people, so many other entrepreneurs and whatever that are trying to do that exact same thing.
If you understand that niche market before you go in, you're already ahead of the game in terms of, like, if you want to generate something for a small population, rather than just go in this massive market, you're trying to stand out against a lot of competition. Where in a niche,
got more money and more experience than you.
You can bring something to a niche that you can't bring to the mass market. Especially from a starting from scratch business. To start generating generating income from day one. The best way is sort of to target a small population.
Yeah, and just to clarify what we mean by niche and small population. Like, obviously, for me personally, I make software aimed at IT administrators. So that is kind of a niche market. It's not aimed at just general like businesses or anything. It's aimed at a specific area of a specific industry, and that's what we mean by niche. Like an industry, just one sort of section of it, one very
within
specific
IT
part.
But then within IT,
just administrators that want to do certain tasks.
So it's like narrowing down further and further down.
And obviously you don't want it to be too narrow, because then you are really limiting how many people could possibly want your product. Which, like we were just chatting about before, like you could make something really obscure, and you'd probably still sell a few, because there are a few people that want that, and there's not many people making it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of finding the balance in it between something that there's a lot of people still that are going to want to buy it, but it's not aimed at absolutely everyone, because then there's going to be tons and tons of competition. There's going to be other people that have already made something better, more experience. And like you said before, if you understand the market, like for me personally, I worked in IT, so I know exactly what IT administrators want from a program that's aimed at them. So that makes it so much easier, and already kind of a step ahead of a lot of the competition, because a lot of my competitors are just software companies. They just, they purely know about writing programs, and maybe someone's come to them at some point and said, "Oh, can you make me this IT related program?" They'll make it, but it won't be as sort of full of useful features as if I'd made it, because I know exactly what would be useful, and what people could find helpful, and what would sell it better and stuff like that. So yeah, if you understand the market, even if it's a niche market, and even better if it's a niche market.
And that's where on the other video, on the Q&A, I said about I set up like 8 or 9 businesses. Some of them, especially the problem with them, was because I had an idea, but it was just for such a large general market.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And starting from nothing with limited marketing budget, it's so difficult to stand out.
Yeah,
and that was the problem with some of the ideas.
That's we'll probably do like a separate video on marketing and promoting products, I think. But like we've said privately before, like if you're going for like a general population, like a general consumer thing, you need so much advertising money and marketing skills and everything to sort of get it out there, because like we said, there's already so many millions of other companies doing
Yeah,
that, and
you've
they've
got to
already
stand
got
out.
yeah.
With a
already got
niche,
so much money.
it's sort of build it and they will come at you.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly,
you literally can, because people will be looking for,
And
certain IT programs.
Yeah, with my IT programs, I've never paid for advertisement anywhere.
Yeah.
The only advertisement I've done is just mentioning it on forums when it's relevant. And again, this is kind of going into like the advertising and marketing and promoting section, which we'll do in a separate video in this series. But yeah, that's like you say, you make it, and people will search for it on Google and whatever, and come across your site. So because it's a niche, that's they can do that. Whereas if you were aiming something at the general population, there's no way you would get even in the first 10 pages of Google search results for like, I don't know, new cars or something. I don't know, whatever you were making that's aimed at the general population. It's so hard for people to find it without you advertising on TV and stuff like that, which costs thousands.
At least understand where the market's at.
Yeah,
like what's available.
Yeah.
As a base, you need to understand what people can get.
So understanding, not just because a lot of people who like ask us questions and stuff are still at school or whatever, the people haven't already got experience in a certain market. So
the people who go, I want to do business when I leave school. What should I do?
Yeah,
it's find a niche.
Yeah, but it's got to be a niche that you already at least know something about, and you've already got a bit of experience with. Fair enough, if you're leaving school, you're not going to have like real world sort of job experience, but something that you at least know, and like we were just saying, know what's available.
Yeah.
Like, know what people can get already, how much it costs them, stuff like that. Don't just pick a random niche market. Don't just think, right, I'm going to start selling horseshoes. Don't just pick something that you have no idea about and don't know what other people are selling already and whether anyone even wants them. Pick something that you've got some experience. Maybe a family member or something runs a business. Go ask them like what would help you in that business.
Yeah.
Because it can, like, the whole point of a niche market is it's quite specific. So even if you think, oh, my dad sells carpets or whatever, that's there'll be stuff like maybe software wise or physically making tools or something. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know anything about carpets, but you get the idea.
Got like concrete floors in his house.
Yeah, no carpets in my house. But yeah, like speak to them, find out what would be useful for them, or if you've got experience within a certain business, then think of what would help with that business. Like I used to work at a company that made a piece of software that was aimed at stationery suppliers. Okay, so that's quite niche. Yeah. And I was thinking when I got the job, I was like, is this all they sell? They just sell this one piece of software aimed at stationery suppliers. I was like, how many stationery suppliers are there that need this software? They obviously there was like 60 people employed by that company, so they must be making several 100,000 at least.
Yeah.
A year off it. So that is a perfect example of a niche market. It's something that a lot of people probably wouldn't think there's enough demand for. I can write software, but I couldn't write software for a stationery supplier.
But that's why I said if you taught me everything you know about programming, I've not got the experience of working in IT like you are. So I'd be useless at it. And I'd make next to nothing because
that's
I
the
don't
problem.
have the experience.
And that's why I mentioned in another video specifically about programming, and it probably applies to a lot of other things as well. Is the programming language or whatever is just kind of a tool. You need to know what to make with that tool. It's the same like if say you learn welding or joinery or whatever, I don't know. It's alright learning the skills, but you've still got to know something to make that people actually want. And I guess with welding or joinery or whatever, again, you could find a niche market where you could make something. Just I think to summarise it, a lot of people want to make stuff for the general consumer market because that's the most obvious place where you can try and think of things. When you're sort of brainstorming for ideas of what to make, you automatically think, what do I need in my life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a better way of looking at it is, what business am I in? What would help in this particular industry? In like a very specific task or something like that. Not too specific.
Yeah.
That's the problem and we can't really tell you where the line is between too specific and
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think don't look at it as you're just nailing yourself to the mast of I've got to stay in this. Once you get established there, you can then start to branch out to a wider audience. But from the off, as a start of a business, it's so much more valuable to spend your time on a niche than it is, just trying to go for a massive market. So keep it niche. Keep it good. Keep it interesting.
That's a good phrase. Keep it niche.
Keep it niche.
Keep it niche.
T-shirts available.
We're going for a niche market there.
Yeah.
Niche t-shirt.
T-shirt inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go for like a general consumer market, you could end up being like a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever, because if your product takes off, there are millions of people that are in that market to buy it. So yeah, you could potentially make more money from the general consumer market, but you stand such a smaller chance of making it.
Yeah.
With a niche market, there may not be potential to make millions, but you stand more chance of making, say, a few 100,000, which for most people is more than enough.
Like, for every Angry Birds, there's probably 10,000 others that fail.
Yeah,
you know,
so if not more.
Yeah, so that's sort of, you know, it's that success rate, which it's probably a higher success rate in niches than.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it.
If you disagree, fine. It's, like we said, this is just our opinions, so we're not trying to preach and say this is right. So yeah, we just thought we'd share that as a starting point for these business videos. The next few, just to give it a rough idea of the kind of things we're going to do, I think we're going to do one on like promoting and marketing products. Yeah. Because I know I get asked that a lot. One on like time. We're saying time management, but like just making sure you're spending time on the right things, really. Yeah. One on, I think, like just starting a business, because a few people have asked me for like a kind of like a how-to guide, I guess, on like what to do just to, you know, get things off the ground. Yeah. Which is kind of part of the promoting and things like that, but we'll do a separate video on that. Yeah,
things might overlap slightly.
Yeah.
We'll try and keep each topic as concise as possible. Yeah. But yeah, we'll probably get rambling.
We ramble. Yeah. Let us know if there's any particular videos that you want. Any particular thing that you want to know about. I know one I keep getting asked a lot is like, how do I start programming? I kind of don't want to do that because I don't want this to turn into a general programming tutorial channel.
It's supposed to be inspiring just business thought and free thinking.
It's not really meant to be as specific as teaching you programming functions. Because I think, again, that also encourages too many people to just do programming, whereas there are so many other ways, so many other niche markets that you can go for. So I don't want to kind of encourage everyone to do programming just because that's what I've done. I just think, you know, find your own thing. If programming is your own thing, then fine.
And also, in 10 years' time, computers will program themselves. So honestly, it's dead in the water. Dead in the water.
It'll take you 5 years to learn.
Yeah, and then by that point, computers will just be they'll be organic.
Mystic Meg over here says that computers are going to be sentient. Right, on that note, we're going to say goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.